everyone, my name is Sjokz and I'm super happy that I'm here with the brand new champions of the LCS Split 2020, Cloud9. It is an honor for me to talk to you. It's been great seeing your split kind of develop and also just your crowning achievement today. I want to ask a lot of questions, but I have to go to Jack first after the huge investment into everything behind the scenes as well as the specific members on this team. What does it mean to you to get that title back in the Cloud9 camp?
I can't believe it's actually been 6 years. That's actually insane. But it feels like this one is like, it's really special in comparison to the other ones because I really felt like we kind of reset our team and really focused in on what we wanted to get out of our daily achievements, which would lead us to where we are now. And I feel like this, the team that we built now, it's stably strong. So I know that we're not like dependent on a specific meta, and it doesn't really matter what competitors come down the road, that we're going to be able to adjust and continue to be strong. So it's really, we've really set up like the building blocks for sustained strength.
That's what it looks like. It's also been the most dominating way any team has ever won the LCS, and that means something. I'm gonna go down the line rather a little bit of each of the players and also the coaching staff to get reactions. I want to go to Blaber. What an amazing road you've had in your career so far, and it's only just begun. You got crowned the MVP, and now you have that title for yourself. How do you look back on the development you've had so far and kind of the environment in Cloud9 that allowed you to thrive and become the MVP and the champion this spring?
I mean, I guess looking back, I think I got pretty lucky with my career. But I also think Reapered and West have helped me a lot grow as a player. I stayed on, I was playing Academy here for about a year and a half, I think. And over time, Reapers always gave me chances to play in LCS and split scrim time. And I think that's really helped me, even though I haven't really started fully in LCS until this split. But I think I really developed a lot, as well as taking towards the end of last year a more leadership role in Academy, just because I was one of the veterans then. And then I think this year specifically, I think I've just gotten a lot better personally about, I guess, planning on not killing myself. So yeah, huge. That's something that I really focused on this split, and yeah, I'm just really grateful for the opportunity.
Work in progress.
Still happens.
Getting better.
Work in progress. Well, if this is only the beginning, I mean, I'm super excited to see where it's going to lead. Specifically, your connection with Nisqy and how dominating you've been this year has been insane. Nisqy, it's awesome to see you lifting that trophy. We know you from back here in EU, and we're always wondering what was going to happen when you went to NA. And I think you fought really hard to get where you are. How much of a crowning achievement is this for you?
I mean, when I first joined, when I came to NA first in NV, I kind of knew that it would be really hard for me at first as well, because I didn't know anyone. It's a new region. I was like a rookie back then, and then the second time I came to NA, right now in C9, I was like, okay, this time I can actually win it, and I can be a top team. I can improve because they have a good coaching staff, and then C9 always has been one of the best teams. So that's my goal, to be a top mid, and then especially this year, I really wanted a trophy because after losing last year to TL and then to TSM as well in playoffs, I felt like I really wanted revenge and kind of show that I'm the best in NA, and that was my goal, and I think I achieved it right now. So it's just, it's just really relieving that I'm the best. So.
Nice you go. I mean, we had a bit who he is.
Must feel good to say that as well. And we always knew it was there. In EU, you had good moments. In NA, you've had good moments. But this is the best Nisqy we have ever seen. What is it in Cloud9 specifically and in your teammates that has allowed you to blossom as such?
It's me.
I will take some credit.
Taking the words right out of his mouth.
I think it's kind of a mix of everything. I think just C9 as an org already, kind of just, for example, this year, it's we need to improve every day. For example, just morning workout is one thing, for example. And then also I think after the last Worlds, the coaching staff helped me improve in a way where Reapered really told me I should be on this and I should be like this kind of player, or like, I should have my teammates, or I should do this on the map. And I think Reapered and West and Rapid Star behind the scenes really helped me improve, I think, in a way. And then also I think, just having a really good teammates. I've got 4 like insane teammates, and I think it helps a lot as well. But I feel like, this year I've been really good. I think we'll prove it more in the summer. So.
And
hopefully.
I was waiting for Bukula.
I hear you mentioning the coaching staff a lot, and I hear that in many of your interviews. So I'm going to let Westrice and Reapered say a couple of words. I don't know who wants to go first, but you both have been working on this for so long and put so much passion and dedication into any of the teams that you have fielded, but especially this one, which seems to has turned a new leaf. What does it feel like for you guys personally to make this happen?
You can take it.
Yeah. I think before we made this team, like one of our long-term goals was to have all 5 players be self-sufficient and kind of be able to do things themselves without having coaches or other staff tell them what to do. Like we always want them to get better every single day, and all 5 of these players pretty much do that themselves, and they just take matters into their own hand. Like every single day they just bring new ideas, and then we experiment with everything else, and they're all friends too. So like giving feedback, taking criticism is super easy to do. And we just like don't want to hold anything in. Like there's no there's always transparency in like reviews and stuff, and I feel like review is super more efficient than like before. And it's just like we have 5 gritty and reliable players that can pretty much do anything themselves when it comes to the game. And
these guys are better coaching than us. They are coaching themselves than us to do.
Yeah.
Like us, we are prepare everything for them play the game properly or naturally, and we just decide the direction together with the team. And if once we decide the directions, they are like jumping in. Okay, I want to practice this, or we should practice this kind of champions, or meta, or top side, or bot side. And then things are not going well. They are figured out like, hey, we should not make this kind of mistake. It's not the practice we want, So I do believe these guys are better coaching than ourselves, like coaching steps, but still, I guess we're doing a good job to make that happen. To make that happen,
You'll be out of a job soon if you keep saying that.
Yeah, honestly, these 5 makes our job so easy.
Yeah.
Like, to be honest.
Well, can you give an example?
Zven always shit on Nisqy.
Yeah, they shit on themselves for us. So,
and everyone shit on Blaber every day. Those kind of things.
Yeah.
After the game, Zven and Vulcan watching replay together, and Nisqy and Blaber watching replay together, and Licorice.
Watching his own replay.
Yeah, Licorice watching his own replay, and every day he's like, man, I shouldn't die here. Something like that. So they are doing pretty much themselves. Like
it was pretty amazing because it essentially, like, I think the job that the coaches and the managers and myself did is we set the expectations and the goals of what we wanted, and we worked with the players to see if they bought in it and to those goals, and they did buy into it. And then once those expectations were set, they self-policed to make sure that we were achieving those goals, and we just kind of help them course correct. But they already bought into that system, so like a lot of the work they took on themselves.
And you bring it up, that new system, of course, the big culture change, and bringing in the performance coach and Gary, and just wanting everyone to be accountable for their own performance and their own development and really put in 100%. Jack, how happy are you with how that has played out so far? You have a trophy, so.
It's pretty amazing. And I think one of the big differences that I've seen on this team versus the other teams in the past is that there would be a certain complacency would happen as we were getting close to the finals and maybe a week or 2 away, and you could just tell the players were getting too comfortable, too complacent, not pushing themselves the way they needed to, because nothing happened until it's over. It's not over. With this team, I never had that feeling like, oh, they're not focused. They were always razor focused right up to today. And it feels really good to see these guys take it on and achieve the goal, their goals.
I think a good person to go to next would be Licorice, because I know he's always been one of the guys that's been incredibly focused on the team atmosphere and getting better and getting so good that you could finally lift that trophy. Eric, how do you look back on the work you have done this split with the team and finally being able to overcome that hurdle with the team?
The split was, I don't know, it just felt so good to me. Like we started off with a Korean boot camp. My bot duo right here went out first, and they were like working really hard from the start, like doing like extra credit basically, where we were like, we're gonna team boot camp starting in January, and they're like, okay, we're gonna go out for 2 weeks ourselves. So like I think we had like a really good start, and we were really fortunate to have all the support we needed from staff. So like basically everything was set up for us to just grind really hard and make sure that we improve like every day. And I think that it really showed this year, and we had like one of the most dominant splits that anyone has ever had in LCS.
It's officially the most dominant split now.
Wow.
Officially, indeed. Good stuff. A couple of more players we haven't heard from. Zven, I saw your winner interview with Gabby a while ago, but for me also a big congratulations. You know how much we have been supporting you from here in Europe. I talked to Perks after he lifted his trophy earlier today, and he said he can't lose a game. He's too good for that. And we're all supporting you from back here. How do you look back on today, what you've achieved, and finally being that first player to win in EU NNA?
Yeah, I mentioned it on broadcast, but after like 2.5 years of failure, basically, or 2 years at least, and finally achieving what I came here for, or the first step, I feel like kind of relieved in a way that I finally got what I came here for initially, but failed to get last 2 years. So I feel complete in a way. I feel like a burden is off my shoulders, so it feels really good, and I'm just happy that this isn't the end for this team. It's only up from here, so I feel hopeful for the future. And I was, of course, happy to see Jito win. So,
That's good too.
Finally, Vulcan. Huge headlines in the beginning of the split about the buyout and how good you were and what kind of an investment this was. What is it like for you to play with that pressure and to show up and help Cloud9 and say, hey, you were right by investing in me. You were right by putting yourself out there.
Yeah, I guess it was a lot of pressure at first because I felt like I had, kind of etiquette on my forehead that says, this guy is worth this amount of money, and if he doesn't play up to that level, then was it really worth it? Is Jack trolling? What is he doing? And, just being able to go into finals and perform really well, even, winning Player of the Series feels great just to be able to pay back my team for the trust they put in me, and just like pay back a small amount of the on that it cost them in the off season. So feels good.
It's worth it. Absolutely worth it.
I can imagine. We've had really serious reactions about the series and about the split, which I think is important. But what happened to the trophy? I saw a picture that it's broken in half.
What exactly happened?
It was
to that
everyone.
trophy?
It was you,
What?
Wait, I thought it was Zven.
what? No, it wasn't me.
It was Vulcan, but I'm pretty sure.
Guys,
I
we
thought
were
you
all
did.
holding the trophy.
No,
and
we all
we
were
all
not.
let
It was
go.
not me.
How is it? How is it
Who
one
held it
person's
last?
fault?
It was not me.
It was not me.
I wasn't even touching it when it fell.
It might have been me.
I
I don't know.
I think these guys are so in sync. They all raised the trophy together. Like I seriously watched this in slow motion, and they all turned away at the same time, dropping it. And it's like I was like, no! And just, boom.
I mean,
But
it's fine.
It came back together. We're getting a new one anyways.
Yeah, it's a past one.
Exactly.
Do not stuck in the past.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like it. It's like immediately, oh, you think you won this? It's gone. You need to win a new one. That's
We got
the
this.
psychology
It's
of
okay.
it.
We
Cool
got this.
stuff.
It's all we need.
Good stuff. A couple of more questions about like looking forward, because a lot of the times we hear that getting to the top is difficult, but staying on the top is even harder, because right now you have a bullseye on your foreheads. Everyone's going to gun for you and want to take you down. I don't know who wants to answer this, but how much do you think you'll be able to keep this going and possibly have the groundwork for a new dynasty like the SKTs of this world, the RNGs of this world, the G2s of this world?
I'll jump in. I mean, I think that honestly, like for most of the split, we actually already had that bullseye on our head because we started like 9-0 in the first half, and we were already the team to beat, like the team that people had as the favorites to win spring split from super early. So I think we've actually already done a lot of that work where it's like making sure our mentality is good and that we're focused on the right thing still, and that we're not like worried about who's coming up to get us, and instead we're focused on improving. So I think that we're on a really good track to keep winning.
That's a good answer.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
Anyone else?
I've had several championship teams in various games, and I can tell you that the drive of these guys and the focus of these guys is different than the other teams I've had, and I don't think it's going to be a problem like it has been with several of my other teams in the past, where we would lift that trophy and I'd be walking out of that, I'd walking out knowing that we're going to have problems tomorrow. Like, who's going to crack first? I don't have that feeling with this team at all.
You never know.
That is true.
That is true.
Reapered's next.
When it comes to kind of the way you won this championship, it was more aggressive than how other NA teams usually play. And it's not to say it was reckless, it was calculated risks altogether, but a lot more of pushing your advantage and taking what you want, which is something that the region as a whole has been kind of blamed for a lot throughout the history of League, right? If there weren't any performances internationally and things like that. Do you feel that by showing this style and showing this style in a dominant way, you will level up the rest of the region?
Alright, I will jump in, guys.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Go get him.
Go get him.
I mean, I think for sure it will help the region, because I think, like, if next season teams are doing the same thing where, like, they just play for scaling and they just play safe, they don't take risks, then they know that they will probably not beat us, for example. So I think the first thing that they will probably do is kind of adapt their play style, or like copy us or play the same champions we play, for example. So yeah, I think, for example, Evil Genius, I think they took a lot of risks, for example, in their playoffs run, and it kind of paid off a bit, I guess. So I think it will make the region better for sure, I think. And I hope other teams are going to take more risks and not really just play DNA style where, like, you just farm until 30 minutes and then you just flip a dragon or a Nasher and win or lose the game by it. So, yeah.
And also, just waiting for lose is not that fun to play.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, I've been here like 4 years right now, 3 years, like NA. And then the first time I came here, everyone waiting for the lose. Everyone, what? That was true. Everyone just sit behind and waiting for lose. Or one guy make the mistake. That's when I enter. That's the enter, and then kill one guy, get the Baron, do nothing again, Elder Dragon, and take the Nexus from it. But I really don't like that kind of play style. And then these guys are always greedy for laning page or greedy for a little bit like couple of interplays. But basically,
Yeah, couple of plays.
Yeah.
Want to know that Reapered was looking at Blaber when he said that?
basically, I do things. Me and these guys are matching really well about the play style, and then yeah, I'm really happy too. We are not that kind of team to sit behind waiting for nothing, and then play aggressive, take the risk for the getting advantage, and then push that kind of things. I'm really happy about that.
Reapered, you mentioned it there, but we see the trend in international league as well. The style that has been most successful at the World Championship of the last 2 years with the FPXs and the IGs is that style. Is that also a reason why you want to push your team to play in this way, to look ahead to the other opponents that you may face?
That's a fact. I came from the Korea, and originally came from Korea and coached in the China. Then back then, the Korean play style, like kind of waiting and ping-ponging for 24/7. That kind of play style was the meta. And then, I'm the person fit really well that kind of meta. But after our Worlds run against mid IG and play against them, and G2, IG, and FunPlus Phoenix, by the time I'm play against that kind of teams, I learned a lot from, and then I start thinking, we cannot play like this. We have to improve, or we have to play like that for the win something, I guess that's it.
Yeah, no, makes a lot of sense. Do any of the players have input on that?
It's
Yeah, I
Blaber.
guess I'll
You're
talk.
good at that.
I think aggressive playstyle. I think it's just the best way to play the game right now. I feel like if you're not doing something in the early game and you're just letting the enemy team do whatever they want, like at this point, like today we just got 2 Ocean Souls for free. You're just gonna lose the game, and I honestly think it's which team plays together the best. They coordinate their plays together, invades or defending or making dives. Just looking at FPX, like you could argue like both their solo lanes, like Gimgoon and Doinby, are not the strongest laners by themselves, but they play really well around their jungler, and they're super good at making plays together, aggressive plays that get them leads and allow them to, I guess, snowball the map. So I really do think that playstyle is just the best right now, and it's something that we can for sure improve on, and any team should learn.
Maybe TN is that good.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's Juggle Gap.
I mean, don't remind me. I still have nightmares from the 2 last ones. So I also heard something about a book club.
Sven, do you want to take
Yeah,
this
you
one?
want to jump in
You
here?
want to go for the club?
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned on the broadcast. I think Tonight has a good system, as we call it. You know, our day-to-day routine stuff, from our morning workouts to how we scrim, how we approach our draft, our reviews and stuff is really good. And small things like the workouts and the book club. I like the book personally. My teammates less, but I think the book does help if you use it. And those kind of like small activities can actually help if you make use of it and you take it serious. So I think all these are small things, and combined with great staff, you know, not only coaching but managers doing their jobs and more, makes it easier to be a pro player when you have what you need but not what you want. It's actually a really big deal to a team. So you can think about only the game, you know, because housing and food, exercise is all just there. You know, it's all made for you and done for you. So yeah, I think small things really matter.
No, absolutely, especially because many of you are far from home, and especially in the current situation, you got to be able to count on each other. When it comes to EU players like yourself and like Nisqy coming to NA, there's often a big stigma, and you guys have shaken off a lot of that, I think, with this title. But a lot of the European imports did really, really well, this split in particular. Zven and Nisqy, could you tell me from your perspective, what makes a good EU import in NA and what makes a worse EU import in NA?
You want to go?
I think it depends a lot on what team you arrive in. I think I fit very well here in C9, both personally with the other players and the coaching and staff and stuff. I feel comfortable here. I feel happy here. And I think my playstyle and what I believe in, how to play the game, also happens to fit very well in this team. So I think it just matters about what team you go to, and that the people in that team and the players, like it's like the player and the person, right? I fit well with both, I think. So I think that's the most important thing for me, that you have some sort of happiness outside the game as well, because it's important to me. And then the in-game stuff is, we're all on the same page for the most part, I think. So that matters a lot to me.
I mean, for me, I think kind of joining a top team helps as a EU player, I think.
True.
Maybe I should...
Smart guy.
Straight facts. Straight facts.
But then also I think, for example, players like, I don't know, like SOAS or like Aka or whatever, I think
Or whatever.
it's kind of harder for these players to kind of shine, because they look actually worse, you know, because they're losing, and they're losing in an A. So for the EU players, it looks like they look really bad, you know. And then, I don't know, I think for me, at least, I came here with a goal, and I think it helps a lot as well. And yeah, just, you know, we're just not slacking, so.
That was a shit answer, bro.
Thank you.
That was a good answer.
I liked it.
Thank you.
A bit of a slide there. At least you're not slacking. Well, maybe a warning sign to some of the people that are coming over. We're going to wrap it up soon. I know you guys have had... Actually, you haven't had a long day. You stomped them.
Yeah. We went so fast.
Any yours or?
Pretty fast.
Maybe a couple of more hits for Jack. First up, how proud are you of your guys? You have them next to you, so...
Boss man.
Dude. I'm so incredibly proud of you guys. Like, after 6 years of failure, like to actually get it done in the way we got it done, and the fact that I felt so confident that win or lose, I knew you guys had put everything into it this entire time. I mean, I was proud of you. Win or lose, I was going to be proud of you guys because the effort.
Less proud of you.
a little bit less.
That's big.
It's still proud. No, because I mean,
I'm just like,
you know, every single day I saw you guys put it out there. You know, getting up early, working out, actually putting in a ton of effort into working out. You know, being totally focused for all your scrims, not being toxic, like all the little things. No, they did.
Not being toxic.
And okay, toxicity in a fun way to each other, but no, like seeing what I have seen as like an owner, I know what it takes to be champions, and you guys have it, and it feels so good to finally have a collection of guys. That's sort of like the dream scenario for any owner. So I know this is just the beginning for us, which is super exciting. It's not the end, and I just can't wait to see how far you guys are gonna get.
Same.
Same.
Yeah.
Big W to Bossman. Thanks, Bossman.
Jack, final question to you before I open up the floor to anyone who wants to say something. So start thinking of something. You got a heads up. Jack, how much does it mean to you that young players in NA and from all over the world probably, they look up to C9 as that organization they want to be part of? Because you've done such a good job in also bringing up people out of the academy roster that's also so successful in its own. What does it mean to you that this is an organization that players look up to and know they can find success in?
Oh, I mean, it feels really good to hear that. I think I was actually kind of thinking about all the players that have been through Cloud9 over the last like several years, and it kind of started surprising me. Like, out of the last 3 teams in playoffs, we had 11 players that are on some iteration of Cloud9, and that kind of blew my mind. I'm like, my God, like that's so it feels really good that that we helped some players along the way, and I hope they enjoyed their experience while they're here, and I hope like to the up and coming players that when they do spend time on Cloud9, that it's valuable to them, that they have a really good time, and that we do some great stuff. So thank you. It's really nice to hear that.
No, absolutely. So there we go. I'm going to open up the floor to anyone who wants to say something to Cloud9 Faithful, to the crew behind the scenes, to Jack, to the coaches, to whoever, whatever you want to get off your chest. This is your moment.
Okay, I will start. Now we won 1 trophy. I want 2 trophies. So,
Wow.
Only 2?
I want to win the summer split.
No more than 2.
You only want 2? You want to win? Sorry?
Yeah.
Oh man,
Wait,
I
are
was
you-
I was planning on losing.
I
Are
kind of
you
wanted
sure?
to lose, actually.
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna work out.
I heard Summer Split isn't worth anything.
Yeah.
and team's imploding around me.
Internal issues, I can see it.
Yeah. I'd like to say that I don't think we could have won without the support of our excellent Puma shoes that help us from the ground up right here.
Thank you, Puma.
Don't know if I could have done it without them. Anyone?
No?
Floor's open.
Yes? I think I'm good.
Oh, I'm great.
I mean, I personally don't know how TSM managing lose with the Zven, so I'm really glad play with the Zven and everyone in here. All proud of you. And then, talented recycler. Strikes again.
Awesome. I think that concludes our interview and our talk. Thank you so much. It was very enlightening, and it's been amazing to see just the way you slaughtered everyone this split. It's been really entertaining. Congratulations and the best of luck moving forward.
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.